Big Ten wrestlers didn't get to wrestle Big 12 wrestlers or ACC wrestlers. So you can only seed it based on your conference. So is this young man underseeded at number 5? You know, he beat a 4 seed and a 5 seed. Maybe he had a full season. He would have said, look, I deserve to be the number 1 seed. But the great thing about wrestling, there's no committee, there's no selection committee, there's no qualifier. It's just you get out there and you take care of business on the mat against your opponent.
So here we go. Lukas Martin, Fairmont State, and he is in the maroon and white combination singlet, and another Husky of St. Cloud State and Garrett Aldrich on there with the black singlet, white band around the chest.
We talk about Lundoff, the 1 seed. It was Kyle Rathman, the 2 seed that Aldrich beat last night in the quarters, and then his big day continued when he took out Hemsillo, the 3 seed, this morning in the semis.
So a fast takedown for Martin. He's on the board, and that only took about 20 seconds.
3-time state high school champion in the state of Minnesota. He is coached by Steve Costanzo and the rest of the Husky coaching staff.
Tough ride here by Martin.
His opponent is Lukas Martin.
Hard hand control for Aldrich.
Fairmont State with a 13-0 record.
I see a little bit of length advantage here for Martin.
West Virginia, coached by Colin Johnston.
He's still forward pressure. We'll get a reset about a minute into this one. Aldrich, his 2 losses were to Kyle Rathman, which you mentioned, from Minnesota State, the regular season losses, and then beat him, knocking off the 2 seed on the way to the final. Up and away, Martin's on his feet.
1 point escape, Aldrich.
Did do a nice job there picking up 43 seconds of riding time. It was such an advantage. I remember going back to my collegiate days, man, if you get that riding time early, it just pressure's off. It's only a point, but I think it's more psychological. That just we're able to have control on top. Such an important, maybe the most important position in collegiate wrestling. To get that minute early, it's a huge, huge, huge deal.
Nice move to open up. Slides past and gets the 2, and another takedown here in the first half of this first period for Martin.
And again, we're talking about a guy who's undefeated, tied yet a 5 seed. Does he come in with a chip on his shoulder saying, hey, I don't go to maybe some of the bigger D2 powerhouses that have the benefit of, you know, wrestling each other during the season? Did he deserve maybe better than a 5 seed? Is he out here to kind of prove some of the naysayers wrong? You got to wonder.
Yeah, Londoff, the 1 seed, had 1 loss, and Rathman had 2 losses, but like we said, he had lost twice, or I'm sorry, Aldrich had lost twice, but yeah. If you look at these styles here, you know, Martin seems kind of loose, likes to work from space. See how those contrasting styles play out here. Under a minute, first period, 149-pound showdown. Lukas Martin, he was a super regional champion, and he is a transfer from West Virginia.
Pretty good football program in Fairmont State. I believe they were ranked 2nd and 3rd the last couple of years. So I always love that wrestling football crossover, such a natural correlation between those 2 sports. And probably a few kids in the restroom that played football and vice versa out at Fairmont State, I would gather.
They always typically have an article each year before the Super Bowl. And it's trying to do the lat drop and catching him as Aldrich trying to do that. Martin covered him. And the officials will confer here. Let's see.
And that's one you're gonna probably say, if you're Garrett Aldrich, hindsight's 20/20 on that one, but probably gonna want that one back. You don't need it in the first period.
No.
Second, maybe second for sure, 3rd, but there's a lot of wrestling to go. It's a 4-point match at that point. You don't need to.
2-point near fall.
You can't win a match in the first period, but you can definitely lose one. And you know, you hate to try and throw big points away late in the first period.
And we talked about, when you look at these 2 guys, a little bit of height advantage, you know, for Martin. And it always seems tough that you really got to catch a tall guy good on those lat drops, as we watch here. And Martin was coming into him with the lat drop. You want the guy walking into you, but it seemed like Aldrich was a little too low It's back too close to the mat, not able to get that torque to turn Martin across from him. The officials looking over the video.
Remember, in his competitive days, Henry Cejudo was a master of that move when you push into him and you kind of do that foot sweep into a lateral drop late in the period. I wonder if Henry, though, would have said, maybe save it for the second or third period in this one, young man.
Martin, he's a West Virginia guy from Parkersburg, West Virginia. Went to Parkersburg South High School. Like we said, went to West Virginia, and he stays in West Virginia.
Well, that's a big break there for Aldrich. I would have thought the near fall, they review it, so that's a huge break. Okay, so you only give up the takedown. You still probably say you could have got out of here 4-2, but boy, 8-2, 9-2, that's a definite game changer. So big break there for Aldrich. The officials replay it, take away the near fall. That's big.
He chooses down, trying to chip away, down by 4. And right now, Martin with 1:50 of riding time.
Interesting call, because you're basically just trading the point at this point, right? You get the escape 6-3. You pretty much resign to the fact that you're giving up that riding point. Is it worth burning the energy and the time on bottom, knowing he does get the escape quick?
But going neutral might have been a good call,
saves
too.
You the time. We'll see how it plays out. Still a long way to go.
So a 3-point advantage.
We have a 1-point escape on the mat for Garrett Aldrich.
Or the Falcon of Fairmont State, Lukas Martin. Unblemished on the year, the 5 seed. A lot of movement from Martin on his feet, where Aldrich kind of stalking, more kind of that Iowa style.
Well, still plenty of time to run your offense if you're Aldrich. Again, you don't have to try anything crazy. Lateral drops removed. You know, work your offense. A couple of takedowns. Maybe eat into that riding time. Make your opponent carry your weight on top. So, good news is, if you're Aldrich, you're certainly not out of this down 3 mid-second period.
Heavy tie here by Martin. Trying to get Aldrich guessing here with a lot of that movement, both from the feet. As he comes on an attack here, drives the hips and gets the 2.
I love the reshot. It's one of my favorite technique displays in wrestling, when you can time it perfectly, use your opponent's momentum. He's in on the shot. He recoils after the miss. You're right in there. Expertly done.
He's got that right arm tight waist, deep, long arms. He is wrapped all the way around the other side of the body on Aldrich. Switches to the strap ride to finish out the period. Choice. And we'll go neutral.
Yeah, really, no.
No, he says down.
Okay, well, shows you again what I know. I'm going to say, you're up 5, the riding time salted away. Why carrying the energy? I guess the thinking here is you can certainly burn some time. You get the escape. Now you make it a 3-score type match. So I think Coach Costanza is going to say, look, he already selected neutral.
Yeah. They're going to adjust the score.
Oh, they're going to. Yeah, they missed an escape there in that period. So 8-4.
That's one of those things. As far as Coach Costanza is saying, is once you signal,
that's it. That argument too. Yeah.
There's no takebacks.
But I think the discussion, was a missed escape on the score late in the period. So it's going to be 8-4. Riding time obviously is secured. So you're looking at a 9-4 lead right now for Martin. And again, here you are. Again, wrestler on top, trailing. What's the strategy here? To me, I think you got to cut him loose and just start working, takedowns as fast as you can. You're not going to get that riding point away.
Martin, shin flick to get the leg off, and he's up and away.
That's a 1-point escape. Martin now 9-4 on the mat.
You have one guy beat the 1 and the 4 seed, one guy beat the 2 and the 3 seed. These guys have been the bracket busters. Usually you have one of those. It's rare to see both in the finals. It just shows you the path these guys have been on. They basically have wiped out the entire bracket themselves here this weekend.
Lukas Martin still circling, very loose, working from space as he has his whole match. Circles back into the center of the mat, halfway through this final period of regulation.
Now you really got to start pushing the pace if you're Aldrich. Now the time of home run attempts, lateral drops, and maybe too much too late if Martin finishes this leg attack. Got both ankles. It's got to be close to the analysts to say. Once you get them both, that's got to be 2, and there it is.
2-point takedown, Martin.
30.
One-point escape, Aldrich.
Up is Aldrich, still trailing though. 11-5 with riding time. It's essentially 12-5, so he needs to go big with 10 left on the clock.
Fairmont State about to get a national champion. What a weekend. Comes in as the 5 seed.
Todd takes out 3 of the top 6 seeds on his way to a championship. Wow.
Lukas Martin, unblemished, 14-0, and the Fairmont State Falcon is your champion at 149.
Well, the struggles continue for St. Cloud. I don't want to put too much pressure. I said they had 1 chance left. They actually had 2 with their heavyweight. But, boy, it's going to be this now, Todd, for the team race. I said it may. That was a little bit tongue-in-cheek, right, when you had 3 chances. But now it's really going to come down to the last match of the night. Take a look at some of these highlights.
Like you
Yeah,
say.
just controlled from the beginning. And there's the move. You probably go back and second-guess that. You didn't need it there. Open up the door. Martin just never looked back after that point.
And we talk to our champion, Lukas Martin, at 149. Lukas, you're from West Virginia. You get a title in your home state here at 149 pounds. And a lot of guys come into the finals and they wrestle a little conservative, a little tight. You seem to open it up right away. Was that your approach coming in?
Yeah, man, I'm here to scrap. That's what I do. That's why I train every day. To come in here and get on this mat specifically and scrap. And there's no reason to be conservative. Just come score points, dominate.
And you were undefeated. You get the 5 seed, but you were the real bracket buster this year. Did you have a chip on your shoulder coming in saying, I'm better than the 5 seed and I can win a national championship?
Nah, no chip on my shoulder. Just me knowing that nobody works like I do, nobody grinds like I do. Nobody, I have Coach Johnston. He got me here. He got me to the top. And, no chip on my shoulder. I just always knew. There's never a doubt.
Well, congratulations, Lukas. That's Lukas Martin, your national champion, the Fairmont Falcon, at 149 pounds.